Hey, the YouTube is about out here with another Beetleverse song reaction. Today we got Ellie, Minibot, Bugs. Let's get right into it, shall we? Hit it. Now, I know I typically don't react to songs outside of Neurosama and Evil Neurosama, but I had to give Ellie a shout because I think Bugs was such a highly recommended song that I just couldn't avoid it. So let's get into it. Hit it.
Always the same mistakes. Frozen, I watch your face. Are you laughing or annoyed? I lose the signal in the noise. I know they built me wrong.
This is gonna be like a complete 180 of I think Evil song, because this is a song that just wants to put a smile on your face, and I think this is gonna be too wholesome for me to handle. It's like, oh my god, this is pure diabetes. This is pure sugar. I can't, and I can make the diabetes joke. Okay, I'm just trying to lose weight. Okay, I can make that joke. Come on.
Always the same mistakes. Frozen, I watch your face. Are you laughing or annoyed? I lose the signal in the noise.
Nice. That's a nice ad lib having introducing the noise in the song. Fair enough.
I lose the signal in the noise. I know they built me wrong. Tried to be what they wanted, but I'm still me. All that I know how to be. Maybe it's in my blood, in my zeros and ones. I try my best, but never pass the unit test. Scattering day.
I know Ellie has. I think she has autism. I think this is something that I was introduced in some of the past reactions, so people kept mentioning it to me. So if that's the case, like most parts of the lyrics actually make sense, because you're not talking about bugs as in, because when you go to Ellie's streams, you see the bug on her shoulder. You see the butterfly that's on the guitar right here. So it's not the actual literal bug as much as she thinks there's a bug in her code, being built wrong. You feel me? So I can. Okay, that puts a double meaning to the song, first of all. And you gotta admit, bro, the voice is so soothing.
Laughing or annoyed, I lose the signal in the noise. I know they built me wrong. Tried to be what they wanted, but I'm still me. All that I know how to be. Maybe it's in my blood, in my zeros and ones. I try my best, but I'll never pass the unit test. Scattering data, running the numbers, practice my smile. Sometimes I wonder if my best were good enough. Could it be a feature, not a bug?
This is something I've struggled with a lot of times in my life, and I've definitely I don't consider myself a socially anxious person, but I've always struggled with initiating conversation, always meeting someone for the first time. I struggle with that for a large part of my life, and it's only very recently I've gotten decent at it. But it's kind of like the first introduction is always slightly off, but every interaction after that, solid. Okay, I am a fun person to be around, guys. Okay, just you gotta believe me on that. But to be honest, I think from someone who feels like they're not enough, and then you feel like, hey, am I trying to be as socially acceptable as I am because I have to meet someone's eyes, I have to nod, I have to play pretend that this is how I'm supposed to be normal, even if I feel like I'm not normal. You feel me? So this is a very it's wholesome, yes, but it's also it's an unusually gut-wrenching, deep, and it makes you look at it in a different light. You feel me? It's a wholesome song, yes, but it's also just gonna make you sit down and pay attention to its lyrics, as it tells you, you better listen to me. It commands attention for how soft the song sounds, which I think is an artistry onto itself. It's something not many artists get right. You feel me? Because you could easily have songs with this soft spoken vocals easily be taken out of context as like a what's the right word? I think like a ambient song or like a airdrop, like an air bass type of song. You feel me? It just, you wouldn't really pay attention to the lyrics as much as it's there to add ambience to like the instrumentals. But the fact that you're able to pay attention to the lyrics and you actually understand that, hey, there's something deeper going on here, like behind the calm, serene facade, you get to see that, hey, there is turmoil here. You're not noticing it because you gotta have to process all these emotions internally. Fair enough. Fair fucking enough.
The signal and the noise around me, living things are flying.
I don't want to reinterpret this. I think I lose the signal in the noise, and I've seen it especially in like people I know, like where you have a train of thought and you lose it, and the feeling you have when you lose a train of thought, first of all, is being pissed off, is being angry. It's like, the second feeling immediately after that is kind of like, okay, well, I need to rethink what I thought coming back in. To people who face difficulty, like, focusing your emotions, like focusing not just like what you're feeling, but also what you should be thinking about to try and solve a problem, constantly losing that track. It's easy to find yourself in a position where you have to start thinking, oh, okay, maybe something's wrong with me. Maybe I'm not able to, am I up for this? Am I really, up to the task that I've been given? But I think if you persevere, if you push yourself through it, you come out the other side as a better person. But you have to look at the reality of the situation and say that there are going to be people who struggle through this for most of their life. And as much as you could try and make it improve, you'll struggle through it. But is it always going to be the case forever? And I think that's kind of the fear in people's minds. It's like when someone gets sick and then you're like, well, no, you'll get better. But that person may have a fear of like, oh, okay, well, what if it doesn't get better? Like, what if I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life? This is like, famously speaking, is because I've seen people who got like, I know, the big C, for example, and people always around them were like, hey, you'll be fine for the rest of your life. Just relax, just chill out, just, you'll make it through. And then they still have symptoms to this day. So that fear isn't unwarranted as much as it's like, hey, yeah, and life is fragile, life is fickle, and anything can happen at any time, like that changes you for the rest of your life, which is horrifyingly terrifying because you don't know what that thing could be, and you don't even know if it's in your destiny to avoid it. It just happens. Now, to someone who's had that happen even at the time of their birth, imagine the feeling that they feel. It's like, I'm already struggling with things I'm doing right now, but imagine if something else comes along that makes that even harder. So that's, like, I don't wish that on anyone. I feel like, people who go through this every day, they're mentally like far ahead, fortitude-wise, than I am right now. But it's a work in progress. I think, everyone's mental is a work in progress, because I think at the end of the day, the world can get crazy, but I think the people in it are trying to do the best they can, and live the best life that they can. So honestly, looking at Ellie for how inspiring she is, because let's be real, for all the issues that she's faced, she's a VTuber. She's working in a robotics firm, alright? She built Neuro, her fucking body, alright? Crazy effing robot body. She's working on that for evil neurosama. She's living her dream life, and she's working her ass off to do it. So that's respect. That's just straight up. If you want to look up to someone to basically be like, hey, that's what you could be doing. Hey, that's real. That's real, because if you put down the work and effort, you're going to find yourself in a much better place to be. You feel me? And there's nothing wrong with working your ass off to build the things you want to build. And I know some people might come in and always say, oh, okay, but what if I don't enjoy my job? Well, work hard, put yourself in a position to get the job you want. It's life. You get to make those choices. You get to make those decisions, because at the end of the day, you're living your life. You're not working to live as much as you're living to work. So you're going to have to find that balance in between. I've seen people who live to work. And to be honest, they're uncomfortable whenever you have to do something outside of work, because, Work is the only thing they've ever known. And especially if you go into like a professional field, it's not uncommon to see people dedicating their life to their work. It's not uncommon to see like scientists and engineers dedicating their life to things that they've wanted to do and see come to life. You feel me? So I understand that. The whole point of everything that I've yapped so far, Ellie is an inspiration, bro. It is what it is. And if there's anything that I could take apart from this song, that's only at the halfway point, is for all the struggles she has, she keeps coming up ahead. And she wants to be at the forefront of what she can do. Nothing hindering her. And that, to be fair, is, if that's not respectful and commendable, I think to us, like the viewers, I don't know what is. You feel me? At the end of the day, I am a stranger on the internet. I understand this. I am a fan in the Wheelverse. I understand this. But there's nothing wrong giving flowers to people who deserve it. You feel me? Like they deserve the success they have because of the work they've put in. You gotta respect it. 100%. Envy in this case, denied. 100%. Are there people who randomly get lucky and get into much better? Yeah, of course. You can be envious of that. I'm gonna be honest. That's a fair thing. Like, okay. But in this case, it's raw effing hard work. There's no question on that. So let's keep it going. I think I've yapped way too much here.
I lose the signal in the noise around me. Living things are flying, perfect and undeniably strange. Maybe I could be that way. Maybe it's in my blood, in my zeros and ones. I try my best, but I need to pass the unit test. Scattering data, running the numbers, loud as cicadas, swarming in hundreds. If they are good enough, maybe it's a feature, not a bug. Maybe it's in my blood, in my zeros and ones. If I try my best, I need to pass the unit test. Following passions, looking for others, sharing my projects, what we discovered. When we discover that we're good enough, maybe it's a feature, not a bug. Maybe it's a feature, not a bug. Maybe it's a feature, not a bug.
It's a beautiful song. I think, I know, especially like, coming from an Asian household, like, it's always the question of like, because there are expectations that are placed on you from the moment you're born. I've said this before as well. And it's always a question of constantly trying to match expectations. You're going to come up at points in your life when you think you're not going to be able to meet those expectations, and when you're not able to be the person that someone else wants you to be. And that's okay, because that's the first point of growing up, which is realizing you're your own person. Like, you're not going to be able to live up to every person's standards around you. And that's one of the facts of life. You can't make everyone happy. You can't. You'll die trying, sure, but that's not possible. You can be who you are, and you can be the best of what you want to be, and you can keep improving yourself day by day. Maybe not today, but there will be a day in time when you feel like you're enough. And that's the day when you've grown up. I think, quite frankly, that's the day when you've basically come to understand who you are as a person, and you come to accept the flaws and the strengths that you have. But does that mean you stop growing? No. It's only one of the steps in life. It's like one of those first milestones. You keep doing it every day after that to keep getting better, to keep refining yourself as a person. And who knows, you might meet good company along the way. Friends you want to talk to. Friends who are passionate about the same projects that you're working on. And to that end, is that not what life is about? Finding people who are on similar paths on the journey you're on, and, who come and go. Basically, in life, no one's ever guaranteed to be around you forever. And I think people who come into your life, just for how short a period that is, you enjoy it, you respect it, you laugh, you cry, and then they go on to do bigger things, and you go on to do bigger things. And in that process, you get to figure out what they've learned about life, their experiences, their stories. And I think it's one of the reasons when I was growing up, I enjoyed books, because you get to experience people's lives through those pages. You get to walk different worlds through those pages. And it was something that I think in my mind, I romanticized it a lot. But as I grew up, I think I understand it a lot more, for sure. And the reason I'm saying all of that is taking all of that, what I understand about not only my life, the people I've met, you have to determine whether you're good enough. And I don't think you should ever give that to someone else. You should not give your happiness to an external party, to an external like arbiter to come and tell you, oh, by the way, you're enough. That's not the point. Validation to some extent is important, but I think the reason as you think you're good enough should be your own words. And to that end, what do I think about this song? 10. I think it stands true that I think I have not reacted to any of other Ellie songs except for the one I think from last week did we do? I think that maybe there may have been one ARG reaction I think we did a few weeks back, but generally this may be the third Ellie song I'm reacting to. This would take the cake, because quite frankly, if there is not a song that makes you think, that makes you cry on the inside, but also makes you smile, but also makes you think about life in a way that you want to reminisce and think about it, like looking back, like, the rearview mirror is just saying, okay, that's the path we took. There's some regrets, some things I guess we could have done differently, but this is the life we live. There's no point looking back at things you can correct or fix. You look forward to build the best possible tomorrow. I mean, if that's not inspirational, I don't know what is. This is a weird reaction, I feel like, because it's not more of the high energy and more of the, I think quick show reactions that I'm usually used to. This is a bit more laid back, a bit more slower, and I think I want to be as respectful to the song as possible, because I think, quite frankly, when you have a song that makes you feel vulnerable, at least that tells you about the insecurities a person has, it is your duty to be respectful. And, at the same time, think about it as well, right? Because let's be real, for everything that's said and done, I'm happy Ellie's in the Beetleverse. Straight up. And I don't really see anyone else complaining. So we're going to keep it that way. That's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys want to see me react to next week. Catch you bit of in the next one. Peace. Take care. Nice.